My name is Sean Maher. I was born and raised in the Bay Area, and we wanted to look at potholes in the city. As you're driving around, especially in a city like Oakland, which is old, it's one of the older cities in the area. It's completely built out, and it's especially urban. It's a very high traffic area. As you drive around, you see a lot of crumbled down, busted up streets. You hit potholes on your way off the freeway. And as I was looking into that, I kept finding that the problem was larger and larger. The public works agency that is supposed to be in charge of repairing potholes and among several other things has a number of supervisor positions that are just empty. One of them being the person in charge of roadway maintenance. And I talked to them there. I've spoken with them some, and it's all really an issue of budget. They're as everybody is dealing with, an economic crisis that's striking everything. So as positions empty up, they pretty much just have to do more with less. They've got supervisors handling a much broader range of problems. I spoke with an engineer for the city who's kind of in charge of how they're using their resources to deal with the problems of Oakland streets. And what it looks like from their end right now is they've tried really hard to come up with more effective ways of spending the money that they do have. But even with the best possible scenario that they've been able to lay out, Oakland streets are getting worse and there's no way out. The funding level that they're at, they've tried to make several changes to how they use their resources, but there seems at this point to be no way to stop the bleeding. One of the problems is that for years, the way that they dealt with fixing city streets was reactive. They dealt with the worst streets first. Somebody calls up, says, "Oh, my street's in complete disrepair. It's completely awful." Chronicle Watch puts them on sort of on everybody's radar. Anything like that. City supervisors, council members who want to bring a lot of attention to their district, make it a big issue. Anything that puts pressure on them to fix the worst streets first, they reacted to for the last 20 years or so. The problem is that when you spend all of your resources doing that, you get a very low return on the money that you're investing. If you want to invest a certain amount of money to repair a street that's in just god-awful condition, you're going to spend, let's say, $10 per foot. Whereas if you're going to do preventative maintenance on streets that are already in good condition, you spend much, much, much less. The problem being is that as we've spent almost all of our resources fixing the worst streets first, we've gotten more and more worse and worse streets. And as that problem gets worse, fixing it becomes more and more exponentially expensive. So they're trying to do now this new model of spending that they actually took from LA last year, whereby they're going to try to do more preventative maintenance. And that still doesn't seem to be, all it does is slow the bleeding. Things are still continuing to get worse and worse. Oakland already has some of the worst streets in the Bay Area, and I think we need to look at a way out of that. I think at least people need to know about it.